What if the truth about Cancevero's death is more complex than what we've been led to believe? Let's delve into the untold depths of this mystery, peeling back the layers of what we know, or more accurately, what we think we know. Cancevero, a name that reverberates through the hip-hop industry, has become synonymous with an enigma, a puzzle that we're still trying to piece together, years after his untimely demise. The public narrative surrounding Cancevero's death has always been somewhat shrouded in mystery. The initial reports painted a picture that was accepted without question. A talented artist, taken before his time, in circumstances that left many in shock but few in doubt. The official version of events seemed clear-cut, a tragic end to a rising star. But what if there's more to it than that? What if the neatly packaged narrative we've been presented with doesn't quite add up? The story of Cancevero's death, as reported by the media, was accepted by most. A narrative that satisfied the public's need for closure, for an explanation, for some semblance of understanding in the face of such a devastating loss. Yet, as is often the case with stories that seem too tidy, too convenient, the cracks began to show. Skepticism started to creep in, with whispers of inconsistencies, gaps in the story that couldn't be ignored. This wasn't just idle gossip or baseless speculation. These were legitimate questions that demanded answers. The more we looked, the more we found. Discrepancies in the timeline, conflicting accounts, and evidence that didn't quite align with the official version of events. There was a sense that something wasn't adding up, that beneath the surface of what we'd been told, there was a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered. But as time passed, questions began to arise, leading us to dig deeper into the uncharted territories of this case. To understand the mystery, we must first journey back to the early days following Cancevero's death. Cancevero's departure from this world was as sudden as it was shocking. A dynamic force in the hip-hop scene, his death sent ripples through the industry. The immediate reactions were of disbelief and grief. Colleagues, fans, and critics alike mourned the loss of a true lyrical genius. His music, deeply rooted in social commentary and raw emotion, had touched many souls, and his absence left an echoing void. The public outcry was immense. Fans gathered in droves, lighting candles, laying flowers, and scrawling heartfelt messages on makeshift memorials. His music blared from speakers, the haunting bars forming a somber soundtrack to the collective mourning. Social media overflowed with tributes, the hashtag #CanceveroForever trending worldwide. His lyrics, once a source of joy and inspiration, were now poignant reminders of a voice silenced too soon. As the news spread, the demand for answers grew. The circumstances surrounding Cancevero's death were murky, to say the least. Initial investigations were launched, the authorities promising to leave no stone unturned. Yet the deeper they delved, the more convoluted the situation became. Eyewitness accounts varied, testimonies contradicted, and evidence seemed to lead to dead ends. The timeline of events was muddled, the cause of death disputed. Theories began to circulate, each more sensational than the last. Was it a tragic accident, a premeditated act, or something far more sinister? The lack of concrete answers only fueled the speculation, transforming Cancevero's death into a labyrinth of intrigue and suspicion. Behind the scenes, the investigation continued, law enforcement grappling with the complexities of the case. The spotlight on Cancevero's death, however, only seemed to illuminate the shadows, casting doubt on the official narrative and feeding the growing mystery. Despite the initial investigations, the mystery only deepened, paving the way for more questions than answers. The enigma of Cancevero's death remained, a haunting melody echoing in the silence left in his wake. The threads of Cancevero's story are tangled and complex, filled with unsolved riddles and unexplained events. As we delve deeper into the labyrinth of Cancevero's life and untimely demise, we are met with a series of inconsistencies and gaps that make the official reports and public statements more of a mystery than a solution. It's like trying to assemble a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces, each piece representing an unexplained event or a contradiction that just doesn't add up. Take, for instance, the inconsistent timelines. There are reports that place Cancevero in different locations at the same time. It's as if he had the power of teleportation. Then there are the conflicting statements about his final hours. Some claim he was in high spirits, while others paint a picture of a man in deep despair. These discrepancies make it challenging to paint a clear picture of what really happened. As these inconsistencies continued to pile up, a myriad of theories started to emerge from the shadows. Some speculated foul play, pointing to the strange circumstances surrounding his death. Others proposed the idea that Cancerbero faked his own death as part of an elaborate ruse to escape the pressures of fame. There were even whispers of a secret society, a clandestine group with a vested interest in Cancervero's downfall. While each of these theories may seem outlandish, they are the result of a desperate search for answers in a sea of uncertainty. They represent the collective attempt to fill in the gaps and make sense of the inexplicable. Each theory, in its own unique way, seems to add another layer of intrigue to the already enigmatic figure that is Cancerbero. But as we continue to unravel these threads, we must remember that each theory is just that, a theory. They are not proven facts, but rather possibilities that add to the mystery of Cancervero's life and death. Each theory seemed to add another layer of uncertainty to Cancervero's untold story. As we delve deeper into the mystery, a number of lingering questions remain unanswered. The elusive circumstances surrounding Cancervero's passing have left us with more questions than answers. The first, and perhaps the most glaring one, is the cause of his death. Was it a tragic accident, a result of his tumultuous lifestyle, or was there a more sinister plot at play? While the official reports suggest one thing, whispers and theories in the hip-hop community suggest another. The lack of concrete evidence and the conflicting narratives only add to the confusion. Then there's the question of his final hours. The events leading up to Cancervero's death are shrouded in mystery. Who was he with? What was he doing? Again, there are theories, but no definitive answers. The silence of those who were closest to him in his final moments adds yet another layer of intrigue to this already complex puzzle. And let's not forget the enigma of his unfinished work. Cancerbero was a prolific artist, constantly creating. What happened to all the music he was working on? Are there unreleased tracks somewhere, waiting to be discovered? And if so, who has them, and why haven't they been shared with the world? The biggest question, however, is not about the circumstances of his death or his unfinished work. It's about the man himself. Despite his fame, Cancerbero was notoriously private. Who was the man behind the music? What drove him, what haunted him, and ultimately what led him to his untimely end? These unanswered questions continue to fuel the mystery, adding to the enigma of Cancervero's untimely demise. As we strive to uncover the truth, we must also remember to celebrate his life, his music, and the indelible mark he left on the hip-hop world. The quest for answers is important, but so is the legacy he left behind. These unanswered questions continue to fuel the mystery, adding to the enigma of Cancervero's untimely demise. Despite the passage of time, the mysteries surrounding Cancervero's death remain largely unresolved. The echoes of his life and untimely demise continue to resonate through the hip-hop community, casting long shadows of intrigue and speculation. Throughout this journey, we've sought to unravel the threads of Cancervero's life and death. We've delved deep into his early days, tracing the path that led him from a promising young talent to an iconic figure in the world of hip-hop. Yet, the more we've uncovered, the more questions have emerged. One of the most pressing mysteries is the circumstances surrounding Cancervero's death. The official cause of death, while widely accepted, has been the subject of much debate. Was it a simple case of unfortunate fate, or was there something more sinister at play? The lack of definitive evidence and the presence of conflicting accounts have only served to fuel the fire of speculation. Then, there are the questions about his unreleased music. Cancerbero was known for his prolific output, and rumors of hidden tracks and unfinished albums have been swirling since his passing. Are these lost pieces of his legacy waiting to be discovered, or are they merely figments of our collective imagination? And of course, there's the question of Cancervero's legacy. His influence on the hip-hop scene is undeniable, but the full extent of his impact remains a subject of ongoing debate. How will he be remembered in the annals of hip-hop history? As a tragic hero, a misunderstood genius, or something else altogether? Despite the countless hours spent searching for answers, the truth remains elusive. The mysteries surrounding Cancervero's life and death are like a complex puzzle with missing pieces. Every new revelation seems to lead to more questions, making the quest for truth a seemingly endless journey. Until these mysteries are resolved, the truth about Cancervero's death remains a puzzle that continues to captivate and intrigue us all. The story of Canserbero is far from over. And as long as these questions remain, his memory will continue to live on in the hearts and minds of hip-hop fans around the world.